Two thumbs up. Belle Jolie and Mecca, nothing in this episode made me think any better of them. In fact, it just kept getting worse because now I see the degree of the influence that this daddy has on Mecca, and he doesn't know how to draw any boundaries on his own fathers. We're talking about, do you want to stay married or get divorced at the end of Married at First Sight? Can we divorce fathers? Can they divorce fathers? Because if they can divorce fathers, then I'm an advocate for Mecca to divorce his daddy. Because this daddy, the way he talks about Mecca is really out of line. And the way he talks about Belle Jolie is out of line too. Oh, she got baby fever. She got baby fever. Look at her. Stop talking about her womb. Stop talking about her looks. Stop talking about physical and intimacy with this woman. Stop it. This is so out of alignment. And you are a principal at a high school. Okay? People need to keep eyes on him in that high school or wherever he is. They need to keep eyes on him because I'm concerned about who Mecca's daddy is. And I'm concerned about who he is, period. And I'm really concerned with how he's raised his son. And this is a problem. This is a problem. He said, I'm having more fun at this wedding than I thought I would. It ain't even about you. Who gives a care if you're having fun? It's not about you, daddy. Ugh. Go call him an Uber. He said he's feeling good about her family and her. Who cares? He act like it's his own wedding. He said, you might need to hang on to her. He said, if you're up to it, you might want to go on and clap in them sheets later on tonight. So that's so inappropriate. And Mecca just sits there and laughs. He don't have no boundaries with his father. At this point in time, you should be telling him to say, absolutely stop that. Stop that. Belle Jolie, you're not going to get no protection from that daddy because Mecca can't even protect himself from his father. You was up there trying to protect Mecca from his father last week when that father was roasting him. If Mecca can't protect himself from his father, how the heck is he going to protect you out here from his father and from other men? Girl, you out here with no covering whatsoever. No covering whatsoever. That man even went to say that you had an erection when you were standing up there. I saw the Pope coming through. Is Mecca, someone needs to Google him to see if he's even on a list of predators in the neighborhood. That's what I'm going to say. Because the fact that you're so comfortable saying these sorts of things on national TV when you got a mic on and you have millions of people watching you and you have no emotional regulation, tongue regulation, none of that. What I'm also thinking about is, what do you say when there is no camera on you? None whatsoever. He's disrespectful. He's inappropriate. He's rude. He's condescending. He's damaging. He's hurtful. So I already know that there is no way that Belle Jolie is going to be able to erase, or as Liz or Love, what the matchmaker say, erase, overcome all the childhood programming. She can't do this. The type of, Mecca needs years of therapy to undo this. And he can't even begin to heal until he divorces that daddy. At very least, he needs a separation from the father, right? He needs to start putting distance between him and that father. And he may believe that the problem is his estranged mother, his bio mother that left him. And so now he's estranged not only from the bio mother, he's estranged from the grandmother. I'm 99.5% sure the reason why he's estranged from his bio mother and his grandmother is because of that daddy. That mother and that grandmother don't want to have nothing to do with that daddy, period, point blank. And that's why they're estranged. Okay? I guarantee it. So, Mecca, you're going to also have to reconcile any type of maybe hurt you have for your mother. And you're going to have to put it in context with who she was married to and who she fathered a child with, who she mothered a child with, which was your daddy. You might need to give her a little bit of slack. I'm not saying it's right for a mama to abandon her child and be estranged. but you might need to go back and hear the whole story. A lot of times children don't know the whole stories of why their parents divorced. They only get to hear one side of the story. And I suspect that the stories that this father has told Mecca is one-sided. One-sided. You might need to go get the truth, so then you can take that truth, Mecca, to therapy so somebody can help you, because you're in danger. You're in danger. You know how they say stranger danger? No. You are in danger in your own house, Mecca. Hear me well. You are in danger in your own house. Call 911. 911. We're going to move on to Caitlin and Devin. And we got to see a new couple, professional rugby player. And I guess my question now is, you know how we gave Mecca's dad such a hard time for standing up? Do you think the producers told Mecca's dad to stand up and give a speech? Probably, because they figured that Mecca's dad was a fool, and they wanted to create another fool moment, and so they gave him the mic. Because they did the same thing with Caitlin's dad. Now, Caitlin's dad, I understand she's a daddy's girl, but once again, we got another father over here doing too much. He did too much. He really, really did too much. Which tells me, it's kind of making me worried a little bit about Caitlin. Okay. Because I'm telling you, we don't just come into this world and then form our own personalities, which we do. Our personalities are also shaped by our parents. So when you have certain personalities in your house growing up, they can influence you different kind of ways. You never know how it's going to influence you, but it can influence you. That's why as you become adult, a lot of the times you have to spend some time shedding some of the personality traits you might have picked up from your parents, because some of those personality traits don't serve you well, right? And so if you don't take time to figure out what did I pick up from my parents that might be holding me back to reaching the levels I want to do, then you just that's how you keep creating the generational stuff. So I really want to see with a parent, a father like Caitlin's, whose mother obviously knows who her husband is because she keeps her mouth shut. Shut. I want to know who Caitlin turns out to be, right? Does she turn out to be the person who is like her mother, who will be able to keep her mouth shut with her husband, Devin? Or will Caitlin be the person where, because she saw her mother keep her mouth shut so much, she decides that when I get married, I'm not going to be that woman, and I'm going to open up my mouth and I'm going to talk? And does she overcompensate? Does she talk too much? Right? That's going to be interesting to see, because Devin is right now coming off as, he says, I'm a professional rugby player, which is kind of a rough and tumble guy. But he said on the inside, he's a big teddy bear. So it's going to be interesting to see how is the best way to relate to Devin. Do you relate to him as the big rough and tumble guy, or do you relate to the inner teddy bear? And is he describing himself correctly? I don't know. He said his father abandoned him, right? Both he and his mama. And he said he don't have no respect for a man who did that. And Caitlin has said she's been in every sort of toxic relationship you can think of. Men who cheated, men who, every stereotype, liars, cheaters, I don't know, everything. She said all of them. And she wants her softer side to be able to come out, which means she feels as if it hasn't been able to come out, which means that's interesting, because like I tell you, what influence has her father's personality had on her? She's a girl dad. It's really going to be interesting to see. But all Caitlin's dad did was cuss up a storm, talk about how he's pissed, so much so that he refused to walk his daughter down the aisle. That was very telling. In one way, you say you're protective over your daughter, you love your daughter, but you didn't even want to walk, you refused to walk her down the aisle because you disagreed with what she was doing. So, Father, is your love and support conditional, that unless you do what I want you to do, then I'm not going to support you? Because that's what it looked like. right? That's kind of what it looked like. I don't like what you're doing, so I ain't gonna walk you down the aisle. In fact, you got up and made a whole speech saying, at first I wasn't even gonna come. Well, maybe you shouldn't have come. Now, in hindsight, looking at it, because the way you showed up, your ass could have stayed home. I didn't like one bit of it. I didn't want like one bit of it. It's like we got another father on here with no emotional regulation. Mecca's father, no emotional regulation, just none whatsoever, you know. And Caitlin's father is like that, no emotional regulation. So, Caitlin, did you? I hope you didn't pick that up from your daddy. No emotional regulation. I hope you didn't pick that up from your daddy, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when you guys were at the altar and you were doing all this kind of stuff, it was kind of giving me that you're of the two, you're more aligned with your father's personality. Just off the rip. Now, I could be wrong. It was coming off as if you are more aligned with your daddy's personality, which, if it is, I think the adventurous side is going to be great for, what's his name? Devin or Devlin, because he's a rugby player. He's probably going to want an outdoorsy girl, a risk taker girl. But what I'm wondering is, when you say you haven't been able to be softer, is it because the men haven't let you be softer, or you not really soft yourself? It's going to be interesting. Really, really interesting. But yeah, that daddy, not a fan. Now, another father I'm not a fan of. Go sit down. Go sit down. Okay?